Excellencies, distinguished delegates, dear friends. It's a profound honor, of course, to stand here at the United Nations in this space where words can spark actions and action can nurture peace. Geneva is not just a city where peace is discussed, it's a city where peace is lived. That is why Peace Talk here feels so special. They remind us that peace is not an abstract idea. Peace is not something we dream of. Peace is something we create through stories, through courage, through creativity. I speak to you as a woman who has dedicated her life to what I'm calling diplomatic entrepreneurship. The art of turning culture, art, creativity, and women's initiatives into tools for negotiation, reconciliation, and lasting peace. As Peace Ambassador and UNESCO Artist for Peace and Vice President of UNF, I advocate for cultural diplomacy, artistic diplomacy, sports diplomacy, feminine diplomacy. These are not just complements to traditional diplomacy, they are essential. Diplomatic entrepreneurship does not replace classical statecraft. Of course, it enhances it, it enriches it. With imagination, with empathy, with daring, it treats diplomacy not merely as treaties and protocols, but as human encounters, as bridges built with culture, art, woman's will, and the courage to think differently. This is why I founded the World Art Day International Forum at UNESCO, April 15th, where artists and experts gather to explore how art can transform health, social impact, and peace education. And this is why I also created the Femina Vox International Forum at UNESCO in March, a space where women from all backgrounds amplify their voices, share their visions, and bring creativity in peace building. Diplomatic entrepreneurship means innovation, it means breaking the walls of negotiations room, it means bridging culture, arts, and sports to bring them into dialogue and dialogue from civil society for a fairer world. First, let me talk about cultural and artistic diplomacy. You know, as an artist, I'm using art therapy to help people heal from trauma. I have worked with survivors of sexual violence in Congo, with genocide survivors who could not speak. And then through theater, through painting, through dance, something remarkable happens. Suddenly they begin to share that words could not express their fear, their hopes, their memories. Art is not just a luxury. Art is a necessity. It transforms pain into expression and expression into healing. This was my first lesson in diplomatic entrepreneurship. Dare to use unconventional tools, arts, culture, sport, to open doors that traditional diplomacy cannot. Find universal language. Second, let me talk about feminine diplomacy. Diplomatic entrepreneurship also means inclusion, and especially women's inclusion in global decision-making. And yet, decades of advocacy have not been enough. Women remain excluded from the processes, peace processes. Fewer than 10% of negotiators are women. Only 6% of mediators are women. Less than 3% of signatories to peace agreements are women. Yet research shows that when women participate, peace agreements are 35% more likely to last 15 years or more. Exclusion is not natural, it's systemic. That is why I drafted the resolution's women's quota in peace negotiation. Why quotas? Because aspiration alone is not enough. Structure, obligation, accountability. Quotas are not charity, they are justice. Between hope and action. History teaches us rights are claimed, not given. Women did not gain the vote as a gift. Women did not gain access to education by chance. Quotas are the tool we must use to ensure women do not wait at the door of history. Since UN Security Council Resolution 1325 in 2000, the world has recognized women's essential role in peace. And yet, a quarter century later, the numbers remain painfully low. When women sit at the table, the results are undeniable. Agreements are stronger, more inclusive, more resilient, and yet too often, women are marginalized, symbolic, dependent on the goodwill of others. So this resolution proposes, 1, a minimum of 30% women in all formal peace negotiations, moving towards parity, 50% within a decade. 2, an independent UN monitoring mechanism with annual Security Council reporting. 3, integration of cultural and artistic diplomacy, including art therapy and Femina Vox, creating safe, creative spaces where negotiations can advance with trust and humanity. This is not radical, it is reasonable. It is evidence-based, it is ethical. And why now? You have heard that through all those wonderful storytelling that we have so far at Peace Talk, the world is at a turning point. Over 110 armed conflicts, more than 2 billion people affected. The global cost of violence, $17 trillion annually, nearly 13% of global GDP. And yet, peace negotiations continue to repeat the same exclusionary patterns. We cannot afford business as usual. In 2022, in Congo, local women leaders told me, we are often invited after the war, to heal the wounded, care for children, rebuild communities, but why? Never before the war, or prevent the wounds. These words really cut deep. Women are recognized as healers of the aftermath, not architects of prevention. And yet I have seen their transformative power. In Colombia, women ensured land reform, rural development, and victims' rights were included in the peace agreement, a more just, resilient agreement. In Liberia, Lima Gowi, and women across religions and ethnicities demanded an end to civil war. They created peace talks that ended the conflict. These are not exceptions. They are proof. Given women a seat at the table, the world will win. So as a conclusion, let me tell you that in a fragile world, let us choose resilience. In a divided world, let us choose unity. In a silenced world, let us amplify women's voice. When women sit at the table of peace, the world gains durability, justice, and hope. Let us act, enshrine quotas, embrace diplomatic entrepreneurship, amplify voices through Femina Vox. Let women's participation be the rule, not the exception, a right, not a hope. Women must no longer be confined to setting the table at home. It's time they take their place at the table when the future of nation is decided. This is our responsibility. This is our opportunity, our path to peace. Through diplomatic entrepreneurship, we are all peace entrepreneurs. And it is precisely here at Peace Talks, where dialogue becomes action, that I present for the first time this resolution. Because there is no better stage to transform words into lasting peace. Thank you.